All right, let's make this ship start to move. So from the room, we're going to go ahead and move back to our workspace by clicking on it right here. And I want you to notice that you can scroll up and down. So there's our first sprite, there's our object that we created, and there is our second sprite. And we need to work with this object because I want to make the object go up and down the screen. And I'm going to use the arrow keys on the keyboard to do that. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to program this object to react to an event. Now the event is going to be the key press. So I'm going to say that when the key is down, and in this case the up arrow is down, now I'm going to tell it to do something. So you can kind of see where the logic is. If the key is pressed, then it's going to do something. And the something that I'm going to pick is under movement. And I want you to notice that under this toolbox here, there's a whole bunch of different things that you can have your application do. And they all come into play as you're building your complicated game. What we want to do is we want to find the one that says movement here, and we're going to specifically use the one that's called jump to point. This is going to allow us to move our object on the screen. Now, when we say jump to point, I want you to know that everything's based on X and Y coordinates. And in our room, 0, 0 is the upper left-hand corner of our game screen. So this is 0, 0. So if I say negative Y, it is going to move up. And if I say positive Y, it's going to move down. If I say, positive X, it'll move to the right. Negative X will move to the left. But I can also place objects specifically anywhere on this field by giving them the coordinates. So I could tell an object to be at 250 and 250, and it would kind of place it right about here. And so you can kind of see how that is set up. So just keep in mind 0, 0 is that corner there. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to say that when the key up is pressed, I want it to move -4 pixels. And the key here is that I want it to be relative to where it currently is. If I don't say relative, it will just move the object to X, 0, Y, -4. And that would put it all the way up at the top of the screen and to the left. Now, that's not what I want to do. Instead, I want to say relative. All right. So that's what I'm going to press. Now, if I do this, I can go ahead and run my application and give it a couple seconds to kind of compile and start. And I should be able to hit my up arrow and have it move up on my screen. Perfect. That's great. Let's go ahead and close that. So we need one more event to make this really work well. We're going to add an additional event. We're going to say key press down, and I'm going to click the down arrow. And I want the same command. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say jump to point. And I want to give it a Y, and I want to do +4 this time and say relative. So this is going to move 4 steps in the other direction. It's going to be relative as well. Let's go ahead and hit play. And now I should be able to make my ship move up and down. And I don't have anything for the right and the left arrows yet, but we're going to probably just make this one go up and down, and then I'm going to use the spacebar to shoot is what I'm kind of thinking. But you can already see how I'm getting the start of a game, and this is about the point with your students that they're going to get really, really excited because they're going to start to understand the possibilities that are available to them once they get to this level. All right, let's keep going.